One thing I have learned is that every leader goes through some challenges. And there's never been a leader who has never had some bit of challenges. I'm 30, the first youngest National Service Deputy Director. I didn't get there because I sat in my room, but I have made errors. At 19, I decided to get pregnant. It was an error. At that time, every young person is supposed to go to school. But right from senior high school, when I made this decision, which was not right, I stood myself up and said, I want to move again. Moving through it to the university was not easy because you are 19, a child, being taken care of by a mom, and you are also a mom, and you have to take care of a child. So it was a very exciting but very, very long journey. I went into the university, KNUST to be precise, with a clear mind that I would want the end to justify the means. So I dreamt. I did not live my dream because I knew I wanted to achieve. I didn't want to achieve because only I had given birth, but I wanted to achieve because I knew there were thousands of women who would get pregnant when they are young and nobody can rise with them. Parents who scream. Daddies are angry. But I have a very exciting story because my daddy never got angry. I don't know why. Maybe my dream had been positioned. When I get to KNUST, I knew that nothing had been done by a woman. Women will contest and they would not be allowed. I had to run through taking care of my son, who was living in Accra. I was at KNUST in Kumasi, but I still walked through it. I was apt. At 19, I was acting like a 26-year-old because I never had that funny childhood of mommy and daddy cuddling you. Because instead of me allowing myself to be cuddled, I decided to go and cuddle someone. I walked through those periods thinking, how will I make an impact? So tomorrow, if another young woman will ever make a mistake, she would know that is not the end of her life. I went through KNUST. I did my first master's. I went for second. I learned a lesson because I said I wanted to do elections. And every day of my life, when the first time I walked into the MPP office, I knew nobody, so I don't have anybody to say, this was my person who took me in there. So it is not true that most of the time people will have to walk you through. You have to use hard work to achieve what you want. I wanted to be a researcher, so I did history and political science first degree. So right from there, every move I took was to dream and make sure that dream that people dare not, I would achieve. I went into Dankwa Institute. I didn't know anybody. I sent my CV and said, I want to be the head of research. Then I had a head of research already. So I went there just as a researcher. Now, through the period, I still became the youngest head of research at DI. But the reason I became was not because I was beautiful, was not because somebody held my hand, like they create the impression every woman that succeeds must have somebody holding your hand. But I succeeded because every day, whilst every mate of mine was sleeping, I would wake up to read more about all the good leaders in Ghana, how you can win an election, even when I didn't understand the election myself. To be the master of your dream, you must get the expertise. So I decided to enroll in the University of South Africa to take a course in management of democratic elections in Africa. So I understood what I wanted in life. I live to inspire before I will aspire. I sleep every day not knowing if I wake or I won't. But every evening I sleep and ask myself, have I been able to achieve, at least touch the lives of another young lady who is desperate and feels she wants to achieve, but nobody's pushing her to. They say it's the human's right is woman's right. I am for it. But we women struggle so much when we want to step in that strength, but only when we decide to be together. So it is a young dream. But then after the youth, the woman is also a priority. Today, I believe that everybody here is a great achiever. Everybody here has dreams that we are all aspiring to be. But I did focus. So when I got this invitation, the first thing I was doing was to look for my lens and read the topics. Then I couldn't find my lens, so I had to get a new lens. Then I went on Facebook, and Facebook had given this memoirs you can write for yourself. And I saw in my memoir, they say the title will be, Where Are My Glasses? So I asked myself, is it that my glasses got missing just for me to come to TEDx and tell the people about a nice, exciting story of my life? I contested MPP's youth organizer, the only woman who had ever done that. I was the youngest. It was frustrating because the first thing I was told was that you were a prostitute. Along the line, when we all contested, they never saw the men ever see women. But they say if a woman wants to contest, it means she's been sleeping with a lot of men. Excitingly, after the election, I told myself it was a stepping stone for my next move in life. So what I have to do is position yourself well and get it. Like the soldier will want to hit a target. You segment it, you position, then you hit. And I wanted to achieve. I completed the elections knowing so well that MPP was going to win, no doubt, because the people were struggling. But I knew that as a young woman, I would get the position of being able to change the lives of the people. I love youth. Then I went to national service. It has never been easy because even in there, the first time we went there, they said, which kids have His Excellency brought to us to come and manage us? But every day of my life, I walk through the day making them take back the words they said because I bring motivation to them, the old, because we are bringing innovations, and they see our team, the youngest team they abused, as the team that is going to make sure the scheme of service and every other thing that national service need to progress is done. Because we live in a country where every youth that completes school, tertiary, must go through national service. At one point, people say it is of no use again, but if it's of no use, then it means that we are going to get a bunch of youth completing and walking on the street without jobs. So your first paycheck must come from us. Every dream I have taken had been not because I love to take most of this dream, but because I have been focused. You would only achieve your dream if you decide to be focused. A lot of us have big dreams. We have strong things we want to achieve as people. But if only you do not move away from that target, you can get there. There is no dream that is big. Because even whether we walk or we don't, the day would end. So I have a professor that will say, just keep trying. Because one day, you may not know, you'll become my boss, maybe at 23, and I'll have to serve you. Because I have made a decision that took me there, and you can do it too. We live our lives not knowing when we'll die, but we can decide how many people we'll touch before our deaths. So before you sleep every day, after the TEDx, ask yourself, all these dreams that we are going to have, why will I choose this and speak to myself to say, I dream not? Why will I move to say, this is what I want to achieve? Be the legend you want to be. And I live in the Ubuntu spirit of saying humanity, I am because we are. I am because you live with me.